Have you ever heard anybody say anything like this? I would believe in God instantly if he did a dramatic miracle right here, right now in front of me. If he made £20 million appear in my bank account, if he suddenly made me grow a foot higher, if he made the English cricket team win every match, whatever it is, some miracle right here, right now, I would believe. The Bible actually addresses it indirectly. There are lots of examples in the Bible where dramatic miracles happen and people don't believe in God. One of my favourite biblical passages that picks up on this idea is in the book of Exodus. Moses has gone up Mount Sinai to receive the Ten Commandments from God. Hundreds of thousands of the Israelites are all camped around the bottom watching and are waiting for what's going to go on. And there are earthquakes and lightning and smoke and fire and all kinds of dramatic supernatural stuff happening. People are quaking with fear at it. Moses comes down the mountain bearing the Ten Commandments to discover the Israelites have been busy making a golden calf and are now proceeding to worship it. In other words, the Bible is telling us very clearly that people can see the most dramatic miracles, but they can still suppress the truth of that, ignore that, and live life entirely their own way. Well, that was then. What about now? Well, a couple of years ago, I was speaking at a university event, and after the event, a young man came up to me, introduced himself. He said, "Hi, Andy, I'm Steve. I'm an atheist." I said, "Why don't I just call you Steve? It's more personal than Steve the atheist." He said, well, I'm an atheist, Andy, but I'm willing to believe in God." Now, something about his demeanour told me there was a sort of little trap going on here. So I said, "Oh, interesting, Steve, tell me more." He said, "Yes, all that would have to happen is for God to do a personal miracle for me right here this evening, and I would believe in him." And he kind of grinned, like the cat that hasn't so much got the cream, but has got the entire dairy farm. And I looked at him for a moment and I thought, I wonder how I should address this. And so I took this line. I said, "Steve, let me get this clear. If you were to walk out of this building this evening, out of this university lecture hall, and there you were in the car park, and suddenly, in letters of fire along the horizon, appeared the words, 'Dear Steve, I love you, hugs and kisses Jesus,' you would believe in God." And Steve said, "Yes, I would." I said, "Interesting. Has it ever occurred to you, Steve, that God is not primarily interested in you believing in him?" I wish I could have taken a photograph to show you in this video, because his look was of absolute astonishment. He's like, "What?" He's like, I thought you were some kind of Christian pastor." I went, "So I am some kind of Christian." He said, "Are you one of those sort of strange liberal ones that I read about in the newspaper?" I said, "No, I'm one of those conservative ones that you also read about in the newspaper." He said, What on earth are you talking about?" I said, "Well, Steve, the Bible's very honest. It says in the Bible that even the demons believe in God and they tremble. Belief in God alone as some kind of intellectual idea achieves nothing. He's not interested in beating you at some game of intellectual chess whereby you have to sort of wave the white flag and go, 'Okay, God, yeah, you win. Now I can sort of abstractly believe in you.'" He looked at me and he said, What does God want then?" I said, "Well, it's quite easy, actually, if you read the Bible, Steve. He wants to be the Lord of your life. He wants you to take everything that is you, everything that makes Steve, Steve, and lay it down at his feet and say, 'There you are, God. My life is in your hands.' He wants everything, not just some tiny part of your intellect." Steve looked at me and said, How dare God ask that? How dare God ask that?" And I said, "Well, I think two reasons that he can." I said, "Number one, he's God. His game, his rules. But actually, deeper than that, God has already given you everything. He's given you everything in Jesus Christ. In Romans chapter 5, verse 8, it says that while we were still his enemies, while we were far from him, while we were sinners, is the language the Bible uses, God loves you so much that Jesus gave his life for you to deal with the mess and the brokenness and the rebellion at the heart of you and at the heart of me. Even while you're playing silly intellectual games, he has given everything for you in Jesus Christ. Are you going to respond? Lay down your arms, wave that white flag, come into relationship with him, not just some intellectual admission that he exists. Real, living Christian faith.